Hey guys, well it's Saturday today and I'm just outside making up some more Marten and Mink boxes. I was gonna make some out of the 1x material that I had cut last fall, I think it was. Last spring. I can't remember now, but anyways, I'll put a video of me out with the chainsaw mill. I was gonna use it for siding on my shack, and I applied for a trap line this fall or this summer, and I didn't get it, but I was going to use that material for Marten boxes, but because I figured I was going to need a lot of Marten boxes. But I had a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood just laying around, and that's what I had made some boxes out of last year. And you know, they're certainly not the most durable, but for, you know, 20-25 bucks, it's pretty cheap. So if you can get a couple years out of them, that's not too bad. And since I'm moving them back and forth from one property to the next, they're not just staying in place. I bring them home and they're out of the weather. I put them underneath either the wood shed or underneath the eaves of the garage. So I got my little partner out, Wilson. So we got enough for 9, so we're going to glue them together and screw them. I pre-drill the holes. You got to be a little bit delicate when you're working with the 1/2 inch plywood because it splits out pretty easy. But once we get them all screwed together, then we will work at nailing. I'll put a couple extra nails in just to help hold them together. And like I said, they're glued, so it's not a big deal. The glue will do most of the work. So we'll be back. So here's my my mock-up. I make all 4 sides the same, and I just thought I'd share the dimensions. So the wide side is, we'll call it 10 inches. It's 10 inches minus the kerf of the blade. So the bottom is 5 1/4, and it's about 15 3/4 long. And I make them all the same, and I get 9 boxes per sheet of plywood. Well, we've got the boxes built. They're glued and screwed and nailed. We got the screens on the back. The screens on the back are all done. So now all we got to do is cut our notches right here on the sides for our springs to fit in. You can see that this is one of my old boxes, so we just got to I'll drill a hole here, and then I'll use the skill saw and just zoom zoom. The sound effects really help with the cuts. You can see that it's just got a galvanized screen with some staples. Nothing you know, really structural. We're gonna do that. So here's what I do for my slots so that the springs can go and anchor the trap. I come in from, doesn't matter, I'm coming in from this corner. I'm marking 4 1/2 and 5 1/2 inches. That's gonna give me a 1 inch slot. And then Sometimes it's easier just to transfer the marks up top. And then we go down about 8 inches to the other side. Go down about 8 inches. So we get a slot, and then at the end here I'm just going to drill a hole. I'm missing my 1-inch bit, so I've just been using 1 1/4, so we'll get that drilled. So there you can pretty much see what it'll look like, and then obviously we'll slash that out, slice it out, the skill saw. So we'll finish this box, and then we got to start slicing them up with the saw. So there you can see the slots cut in both. It's not the prettiest, but it's certainly going to do. So you can see that we now have our opening. So you can see we have our opening. Our 160 fits in there to about here, I guess, about halfway back the slots, give or take, maybe 1/3 of the way back. So you do have a bit of room here to keep some of the snow away. Yeah, I like this box. I like that they're tapered. You can see that we've got you can see that there's 8 boxes there, and they stack up pretty nice. So my bike is, the box is 4 feet by 4 feet, and I can pretty much toss one of those rows right in the back, and it won't bang and clang too much. So I like the tapered boxes. This is I guess after this I'll have about 18, so I wanted to make a few more because I wanted to go after some coon and some mink. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you like my boxes. They're pretty easy to make. I think I got a lot of the dimensions off of Dave of Trapping World, but I may have modified them just to fit on a sheet of plywood a little better. And I'm only using Belisle 160s, so the box fits really well. I'm not sure if you can get 220 in there or not. It might be a little snug, but you could probably make these even smaller to be able to just fit a 160. You could probably get a couple more boxes out of a sheet of plywood, so that's something to consider if you're just running 120s and 160s. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's time for me to get cooking supper. So we'll get cleaned up, we're out of here. Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend.